Hey everybody, just got this from the Oakland offices of the City of Oakland. On the recommendation of City Attorney Barbara J. Parker, the City Council voted unanimously today to appeal the May 23rd Federal District Court judgment that allows the development of a massive, unsafe coal export terminal in Oakland. Oakland Bulk and Oversized Terminal LLC versus City of Oakland, U.S. District Court for the Northern District of California, case number 16CV07014-VC. U.S. District Court Judge Vince Chhabria's ruling enjoins the city from enforcing its 2016 law banning the handling and storage of coal at OBOT, which is Oakland Bulk and Oversized Terminal, proposed bulk goods terminal. The City Council enacted the ordinance under its lawful power to prevent substantially dangerous health and safety conditions in and around the proposed terminal in West Oakland. City Attorney Parker made the following statement after the council voted in closed session. The City Council has voted to appeal the Federal District Court's May 23rd judgment enjoining the city from enforcing its ordinance banning coal with respect to the proposed export terminal at the former Army base. We believe the city has the responsibility and the authority to act when the health and safety of our residents is endangered. The council acted pursuant to the city's police powers to ban the storage and handling of millions of tons of coal in West Oakland. These activities pose a clear and demonstrable danger to Oakland residents, especially children whose health will be directly impacted by coal dust and other health and safety hazards related to a massive and inherently unsafe coal export operation. The threat is especially critical in West Oakland, a neighborhood that has been ravaged by environmental injustice and high levels of pollution in the air, water, and soil for at least a half century. The city attorney will follow the appeal in coming weeks. City Councilmember Dan Cow issued the following statement. As author of the legislation banning the storage and handling of coal in Oakland, I was disappointed at the decision issued by U.S. Judge Chhabria in OBOT versus City of Oakland. Appealing the court's ruling is critical for the health and safety of our East Bay communities and our planet. The residents and workers of Oakland and nearby communities should not and cannot afford to be subjected to any more environmental hazards, including those created by coal dust. And there was a statement that was issued by Oakland Mayor Libby Schaaf, and it goes like this. I am proud Oakland and will continue to fight for our community's health by appealing a federal court judgment that would allow a coal terminal built in our city. The storage and handling of unsafe coal in West Oakland threatens the well-being of all residents, but it will unfairly and unjustly impact those who live closest to the terminal and already suffer health disparities from pollutants and foul air. I'm fighting for the health of our community, environmental justice, and equality. So there's that. Now, my thoughts, they're going to lose because, first of all, the Oakland Bulk and Oversized Terminal is not designed specifically for the storage of coal, and it's not a coal facility. It is a commodities transfer terminal such that rail comes in and the cargo is transferred from rail to container, and it's supposed to be done in a way that for all practical purposes is real time. Moreover, and more to the point of why the City of Oakland lost to begin with, is the city has several development agreements, particularly the lease development agreement, that indicates, first of all, the city knew that the OBOT was going to handle commodities, including coal. And this is in writing, okay? What this masks is the fact that there was an environmental movement that was spearheaded by a couple of people who decided, Tom Steyer among them and Bill McKibben, who decided to raise money toward the very rightful and just concern about climate change, but it morphed from being a concern about climate change to a seek for power. If it wasn't, for example, Steyer spending $3 million to try to basically seed the state of California with legislation that he deemed friendly toward the objective of more climate balanced economic development, then it's seeding all of these foundations and coming up with arguments that in some cases are just, in other cases are bogus, but in all cases are hallmarked by an attitude that can only be described as bullying. In this instance, I've been involved with the Oakland Army base since before 1993, if you like, 1988, 87, when I tried to bring an apparel industry to West Oakland next to the Army base, and then in 93, Alameda County Supervisor Keith Carson put me on the Alameda Base Reuse Committee, and with a specific concern and focus on the Army based at West Oakland, because we were going to lose thousands of jobs that were well-paying yet low-skilled, the kind of jobs that would be easy for those who are homeless, ironically enough, just a few feet away to get. The city of Oakland has shown zero interest in spending money for economic development and zero interest in developing its city in a way to provide jobs for everybody. We have morphed into that city that I expressed concern about way back in 1996 in a meeting about the discussion of the jobs housing imbalance that was led by, ironically enough, Keith Carson. And there was this irrational love for more biotech and more tech jobs without bothering to ask the question, first of all, how are we going to fulfill our edict of making sure that those who have less have jobs to maintain at least a decent standard of living in Oakland? And what are we doing to make sure they don't get pushed out? Well, we've seen the physical manifestation of the answer to my question. Homeless at record numbers in Oakland, particularly in West Oakland. What's happened is shameful, and I believe, and I hold it's criminal. Absolutely 1,000,000% criminal. This whole issue of whether or not one is for a ban of coal or not masks a great ignorance of how to use government to obtain jobs that employ people who don't have the skills to take tech jobs and yet fulfill our objective of maintaining a clean economy. We've completely forgotten about the lessons that were brought to us by Van Jones in his book, The Green Collar Economy. We haven't even addressed the possibility that maybe, hey, this thing is designed in such a way that coal won't be stored for any reasonable long period of time, let alone the fact that coal can be transported and sheltered. People, if you ring bang, that people say, I don't want to hear it. Well, wait a minute, does that mean you're saying you know it can be done, but you don't want to know that there's an answer? And then the biggest, and I mean the largest of all situation that the proponents of, I'm not even sure what they're for. I only know that they know how to say no. The people who speak against this commodities terminal bring about is when I ask them, hey, why don't you tell me that in the next breath you don't want a developer to come up, buy all the land, and then build more market rate housing and continue to push out black folks who can't get the jobs and can't afford to stay already? I always get silence, even from those activists, okay? It's really shameful. And it was really shameful. Look, I don't care where activists gets their money. I hope they get enough money to be able to protest and make issues and talk and present a side. That's great. I don't care if it's from Tom Steyer. Great, fine. That is missing the point. The point is this. The point is, how are we going to make absolutely certain that we have jobs in West Oakland to replace the jobs we lost at the Army base? Excuse me. It's been 24 years and counting, folks. This is ridiculous, okay? Now, as far as whether or not this thing is going to survive an appeal, yeah, it will. because the city is, and you know, God love Dan Kalb, but he is freaking hard-headed. He thinks he's got the idea, and he thinks he knows the environment and all this, and he doesn't. You know, it's ridiculous. I drafted the ban, and, you know, I'm the environmental, blah, 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 blah. Dan, come on. You lost, Dan, and you lost because because you and the council don't realize that you created a development agreement, okay? You can't not attempt to undo that agreement. You signed it. You signed it, and it doesn't matter if it was another administration. You have to inherit it. And this also brings to great light another large problem in Oakland. We have forgotten our institutions and how we don't have institutional memory. And people like me are dying off. The people who are involved in forming the legislation and who were involved in trying to save the Army base and then on the use committees, many of them are sadly moved away, or in extreme cases like Mary King had passed on. And thanks to ranked choice voting, the people who would remember aren't there, and the people who've remained have basically lost any real idea of what we did in the past. It's like they have amnesia or something. They've forgotten. I don't know them. The mayor and Phil Tagami have known each other for 30 years. There is no reason why the two of them can't get together in a room, okay, sit down, all right, and hash this out in a way that's adult, that doesn't involve social media or courts or anything else. That's the way it should be done. But shame on Libby for not doing it that way. Okay, I'm signing out of this live stream. I'm going to come back with Nancy Sidebotham at 11:30. So yeah. Well, 11:30 Eastern, which will be 8:30 Pacific. All right.